This video is sponsored by Surfshark. The international implications of robots. The international implications of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Wow, we all remember where we were when I dropped those. Today I'm adding to the international implications series with the international implications of B-movie.
You like jazz?
This movie. Literally like when people look at Medusa and they turn to stone. My Letterboxd review was, oh my god, bruh. Most animated movies that I watch and talk about, it's like, okay, this is a kid's movie, but I still love it, i.e. message. For example, Robots. Robots is just fantastic. A movie for kids that also has fantastic jokes directed at adults. Great premise, great message for kids and adults. Great voice acting, Aunt Fanny, what more could you ask for? See, but B-movie, pissed me off. And that's the one thing you shouldn't do. Don't piss me off. Just a very interesting movie with interesting narrative decisions, interesting jokes, just interesting. And the world building is interesting. Which is why this movie fits in the international implications series, because there is just so much to discourse. Basically, it's a weird ass movie, so let's talk about it. Also, Gentle Monster sent me their new collection, Gentle Monster Bold. Hey! So I will be wearing glasses from the new collection throughout this video. Shablam! First of all, and yes, I'm being petty, but it annoys me that this movie is not called The B-Movie. It's just called B-Movie. And I get that's a joke on A movie, B movie, ha 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 ha. Rule number one, don't piss me off. A worker bee stuck in a dead-end job sues humanity when he learns that they've been stealing bees' honey all along. I feel like 5-year-olds hearing that would have been like, why do I care? And I should have known it was going to be some bullshit, because right off the bat, they killed the DreamWorks kid. Ow! Oh! I usually like it when movies integrate parts of the movie into the production logos, but this was just uncouth. C-O-U-T-H, because you can't spell it either. And that fucking laugh after he kills him. Guys, I'm telling you right now, Barry B. Benson is not a good person. He is rotted in the head. Barry B. Benson. Cause I be the Barry B. Bubby Tings, banging buddy B. Everybody be in my hive in reality. Right. Almost everything he does in this movie annoys me. You know what else annoys me? Using the internet without a VPN. Right. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark VPN, or Virtual Private Network, encrypts all of the data sent between your device and the internet, keeping your online identity safe. Surfshark's got mad skills, guys. Maybe you want to watch the B-Movie. Sorry, B-Movie, but it's not available on streaming in your country and is available in other countries. That would be annoying. Right. Enter stage left, Surfshark. Surfshark has over 3,200 servers in 100 countries, so you can access and unblock content libraries and streaming services from all over the world. What a sweet prospect. Surfshark VPN also secures your personal information and encrypts your online data so you can browse safely. This movie came out in 2007, which is coincidentally the same year that my dad succumbed to the dancing elves virus on the family computer. Trauma. We needed Surfshark back then. Bad. Also, the clean web feature blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing attempts. And Surfshark doesn't track you or store activity logs of what you do online either. Bzzzt. You can also connect to multiple devices across the one account for the busy bees working across phone and laptop. Right. Go to surfshark.com/MikesMike. You can click the link in the description or use my code MikesMike at checkout. That's MIKESMIC to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk for you to try it out. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Now, for all the anti-B-movie rhetoric that I'm spewing so far in this video, the intro is very iconic. According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. That was unavoidable on the internet for a long time. It's one of those memes that just does not die. I remember that being a thing when I was in high school 500 years ago. Mesopotamia High School, Miss Ishtar's irrigation class. Now we're in Barry B. Benson's house and he's getting ready for graduation. Please note that he's wearing shoes and a jumper. Who's making these items of clothing, you ask? I don't know. He uses honey from a dispenser to do his hair as mouthwash and as deodorant. All purpose, babe. All purpose. He gets a call from his friend Adam and answers it like this.
Hello?
Barry?
Adam?
Of course I have an issue with that. Straight off the bat, you're just doing anything. It's like, okay, cool. I guess the way the world building works here is that we're just going to be doing anything. Got it. He sharpens his stinger. This poster on the wall of a movie called Killer Queen. Oh, haha, hee hee. The one book called B. Oh, it's a classic. Barry's dad says that Barry graduated with a
perfect report card. All B's.
That just doesn't make sense, guys. Sorry. The concept of grading things with letters obviously starts with the first letter being the best. So if B is the best, then it should be the first letter, or A should not exist. But Barry has an A in his name. It's just not right. Also, not specifically a B movie issue, but I hate it when the kid in a movie or TV show comes down to the kitchen and the mother has prepared this 17-course delicious meal and the kid doesn't eat anything and says, "Ugh, I gotta go."
Bye.
Barry, I told you, stop flying in the house.
Oh my God. Don't piss me off, troglodyte. On the way to graduation, Barry picks up Adam in his car. They're driving cars in the hive. They've got roads in the hive. They've got fire hydrants, footpaths, and grass in the hive. Adam's reading a newspaper. Let's take a closer look. Frisbee hits hive, internet down. Buzz jaw knows pizza. The pollen count thing is pretty funny. There's 3 things that I check on my phone every morning. First one is the weather. Second thing is the pollen count. Third is the time of sunrise and sunset for the next week. I'm exiting winter. That information is so important to me. Now, why did they make Adam look like that? I'm not even trying to be mean by saying he looks ugly. It's just like, you didn't need to do that. Barry says that they did 3 days of grade school, 3 days of high school, 3 days of college, taking 1 day in the middle to hitchhike around the hive. Hee hee ha ha, the joke being that a bee's lifespan is so short, which, that is funny. Something to remember here is that they are talking to each other and we can understand them. Presumably they're talking to each other in B, i.e. buzz, i.e. the buzz associated with the beehive is bees talking to each other around the hive. That is important for later. There's highways and bees walking around, bees flying around. This line from Adam,
I love this, incorporating the amusement park right into our regular day,
is so randomly clunky. It's obviously a setup for Barry to say,
I guess that's why they say we don't need vacations.
I feel like that's a good indication of one of my main issues with the script of this movie. It's like they wrote the jokes first, then wrote the setup to the joke, and then built the world building around that setup, so it doesn't even really make sense. Compare that with a classy movie like Robots, also classy. In my opinion, that movie does not have that issue.
Boy, quite a bit of pomp. Under the circumstances.
Don't piss me off. Do not. Don't do it.
Today we are men.
we are.
Be men.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Dean Buswell welcomes the New Hive City graduating class, and I'm thinking, this hive is called New Hive City? Oh my God, the audacity. What about all the other hives in New York City? So everyone graduates and is immediately employed by Hunex Industries.
Keep your hands and antennas inside the tram. Mantenga sus manos y antenas.
Damn, they speak Spanish in New Hive City? The actual international implications of that, because does that mean all languages are canon for bees too? Also, when Barry leaves home to go to graduation, his parents say, we'll be in row 118,000, and then the ceremony looks like this: 16 rows of bees. It's not right. It's left. They also call these things trams. Right. Wrong. A tram is a passenger vehicle powered by electricity conveyed by overhead cables and running on rails laid in a public road. I'm not seeing overhead cables or rails, sweetie. So now the graduates are touring Hunex and they're about to get their jobs. Pollen jocks bring nectar to the hive, which is then turned into capital H honey.
That girl was hot.
She's my cousin.
She is?
Yes, we're all cousins.
Who is that joke for? Let me tell you, the 5-year-olds are not gagging over it. Also, why is Barry the only one with blue eyes, bro? I thought it was to help distinguish him as the main character in a crowd of bees. But it turns out that actually his dad also has blue eyes, but then that's it for the whole hive. So why did they do that then? There is a notable bee later that has blue eyes as well, but that bee is external to this hive. Of course, I did some research, and some people think that this suggests that Barry's dad is an immigrant to the hive. Right. Also, the description of how honey is made is just totally incorrect.
Automatically color corrected, scent adjusted, and bubble contour.
What about the regurgitation? But wait, later on, when they have to choose their jobs, there's a job listing for regurgitation. Thank God. Hunex tour lady shows their latest development called the Krellman.
Catches that little strand of honey that hangs after you pour it.
But why is it called the Krellman? Do you see what I mean about how this movie is just doing absolutely anything? The only thing that I could find was that a character in the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special was called Krellman, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of meaningful overlap there. But also, this is a kids movie. The kids want poo fart jokes. Call it the poo poo pee pee or something. Just pissing me off. The tour guide says the job they pick is the job they'll have for the rest of their lives, and that bees haven't had a day off in 27 million years.
So you'll just work us to death?
We'll sure try.
Prepare yourselves because I'm about to blow your minds. The way they're literally bees in the trap. In both ways. Number one, they're literally bees. Two, Nikki said the trap is where you work, where you get your honey, i.e. your money, like trapped working in a system to get paid. Guys, they bees in the trap. It's really, really crazy. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. 100 motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I bees in the trap, bees in the trap. It's Delaware, Connecticut, it's New Jersey, got hella bricks. It's Queens, Brooklyn, and yeah, they wildin' Bronx, Harlem, and Staten Island. Adam wants to work on the Krellman. Barry doesn't want to work. See subnote, he ended capitalism. This guy in the background guzzling honey from the pump, just classless, control yourself. But this also tells us that the cars run on honey, the same thing bees do everything with. These are pollen jocks. Just ugly as fuck, sorry. Barry likes the concept of the pollen jocks because their days aren't planned. They get to leave the hive and do whatever. They also get the ladies, who for some reason all have 1960s hairspray hair.
Aren't they our cousins too?
Distant.
Ugh. Barry and Adam pretend to be pollen jocks, and the pollen jocks are like, all right, big guy, come out with us tomorrow if you're bee enough. Barry's parents aren't listening to him when he says that he doesn't want to work in honey production. So he's like, bro, they're not listening. So I could say anything right now. So he says,
Get a gold tooth and start calling everybody dogs.
it's now tomorrow and Barry is flying out with the pollen jocks. The chief says the most important rule is
Absolutely no talking to humans.
but how would they do that? How would they talk to humans? They're bees. Anyway, Barry's out of the hive and he's gagging.
Here's me gagging.
Looks like the hive is in Central Park, which we sort of knew because the hive is called New Hive City. But again, what about the other hives in the park? The pollen jocks collect nectar and also spread pollen around. Guys, let's be serious for a second. Bees are so important and bees are loved, just not this movie. I love bees. I want that on the record. I love bees. I think they're so important and they're needed. They are really needed. Roll, Raggy. The bees think that tennis balls are flowers and they get stuck to them. Pissing me off because how have these pollen jocks never seen a tennis ball before? Whatever. Barry gets stuck to a tennis ball. The lady picks up the tennis ball he's on and starts playing with it. Oh, Luca Guadagnino. Now I see where you got your inspiration for those shots at the end of challenges.
Like a missile.
The pollen jocks made a noise to distract the human man from pulverizing Barry with a smash.
Huh?
You're telling me he heard that, but not Barry screaming on the tennis ball? Right. The ball goes over the fence. Barry gets stuck in a car. Lo and behold, a classic physics problem. If a bee is hovering stationary in a car, and the car is traveling at 60 kilometers an hour, what speed is the bee traveling at? Well, it depends on the frame of reference, of course. In the frame of reference of inside the car, the bee is not moving. To an observer outside the car, the bee is moving at 60 kilometers an hour. STEM is so important, you guys. So then Barry gets out of the car and tries to fly home, but gets hit by a raindrop and lands on the windowsill of the woman who was playing tennis, Vanessa. And of course, she has a bob. There is so much solidarity between animated kids movies and women with bobs. She's got a wig. We also see the tennis guy again, Vanessa's partner Ken.
Maybe this time. Drapes!
That is funny. But why would a bee that's never left the hive know what drapes are? I didn't see any drapes in the hive. So Barry flies to the light thinking it's the sun. Yes, of course. Positive phototaxis. Gets zapped and falls into the guacamole and Ken tries to kill him, but Vanessa saves Barry. Turns out Ken's acting crazy because he's allergic to bees, which is important for later. Vanessa says to Ken,
Well, why does his life have any less value than yours?
She then safely puts Barry on the windowsill again, and Barry's staring a little bit too much for my liking. It's getting weird. After Vanessa's tennis friends leave and the rain stops, Barry's like, I have to say something to her for saving my life. The bee laws. He doesn't give a fuck about the laws. He's actually insane.
How should I start it? You like jazz?
Oh my god, bruh. Bro used his strategy. You like jazz? Just so sleazy. How do you even know what jazz is? You're a bee. Just pissing me off. So then he talks to Vanessa. He says hi.
Hi.
And let it be known that she's really surprised by this.
You're talking.
Yes, I know. I'm
You're
so...
talking.
Like, this is not something that should be happening. She even stabs herself in the hand to try and wake up from this dream. It's not a dream, babe. You're sipping on the reality. Also, sorry, stabbing yourself in the hand. Isn't this a kid's movie? Now that Barry's speaking to humans, this was like a good time to ask the question, why is Barry voiced by Jerry Seinfeld?
I had to thank you. It's the way I was raised.
I don't believe graduate B Barry should sound like that. Barry sounds 50 years old. Because he is. So why is Jerry Seinfeld voicing the main character? Because he wrote it. It's his idea. Oh. So Barry says thanks for saving me and then they're just talking. She offers him coffee and cake. He's telling her he doesn't know what to do with work. You guys? What's happening? Barry goes back to the hive and tells Adam about Vanessa.
How'd you get back?
Poodle.
Poodle,
Poodle.
poodle,
Poodle.
poodle,
Poodle.
poodle. It kind of reminds me of the much loved pug poo-poo video. Adam asks Barry if humans tried to kill him like they do on TV. Why do you have a TV? What's powering the TV? Bro, it's probably honey.
I met someone.
You met someone? Was she B-ish?
I met someone is very specific phrasing. He didn't say, I made a friend. I met someone is very much implied romance. Adam is being saying, thank God, saying you are a bee. You cannot date a human. Barry is refusing to do hive work and just bumming around. And his parents are like, can you get busy? I.e., be a busy bee? Also, while researching this movie, I discovered that Barry's dad is voiced by Barry Levinson, who made Rain Man, and is also the father of Euphoria creator Sam Levinson. Barry has a daydream where he's on a date with Vanessa. Normal. Very, very normal. And in this daydream, she kills a mosquito and then crashes a plane into a rock and explodes. I'm scared. I don't know what was that, guys. This whack-ass kids movie. Down bad Barry goes to visit Vanessa again. Oh, of course Vanessa's flower shop is called Vanessa's Flowers. This is when I start getting mad at the world logic in B-movie. Because I wasn't mad before. They're just talking to each other while walking around the street and no one is reacting. Oh, okay, right. Well, maybe she's the only one that can understand him, which would make more sense.
You work through it like any emotion. Anger, jealousy, lust.
Shut the fuck up. I sound like The Weeknd. Shut the fuck up. In the human supermarket, Barry discovers that humans sell and eat honey.
Cute bee. Golden blossom. Ray Liotta private select.
Because kids in 2007 definitely appreciated a joke about Ray Liotta.
You don't have enough food of your own?
Well, yes.
How do you even get it?
Aha! So other people can hear him. After this supermarket revelation, Barry's mad as fuck that humans are stealing and eating honey. Barry goes undercover to find out where the honey's being made.
Who's your supplier? Ah, you're too late.
This guy is fighting a bee voiced by Jerry Seinfeld. And you know what? Let's throw in Chris Rock Mosquito.
Jump on! It's your only chance, bee!
Pause. If Barry's talking to these other bugs, does that mean that they also speak English?
You hear something?
Like what?
Like tiny screaming.
Yes, that's exactly what that means.
People see a mosquito, smack, smack!
Chris Rock #slap content. So Barry gets to honey farms and discovers that humans are forcing bees to make honey.
They make the honey, and we make the money.
And that they use smoke to knock out the bees and steal the honey they've made in these fake hives. But you might be wondering, why are the bees even in the fake hive? They say it's because their queen was moved there.
This is your queen? That's a man in woman's clothes. That's a drag queen.
Just strange jokes. There's another joke soon after this one where a bee says that they dated a cricket whose crazy legs kept me up all night. Barry takes a bunch of photos at the farm and decides he's going to sue humanity for stealing honey from bees.
Good evening. I'm Bob Bumble.
And I'm Jeanette Chung.
Cause I be the baddie bee, Barbie tanks, banging body bee.
My biggest question here is, do 5-year-olds give a fuck about bees suing humans? Would they even know what suing means, bro? And like B. Larry King? Who is this movie for? Also, B. Larry King is the other bee that I mentioned that has blue eyes. Larry, bees have never been afraid to change the world. What about B. Columbus? B. Gandhi? B. Jesus? The concept of B. Columbus? Oh my god, bro. Then Barry is at Vanessa's flower shop and Ken is aware that Barry speaks English.
Oh, hello.
Hello, bee.
This is Ken.
No reaction, no, oh my god, this bee can speak. All Ken says on the matter is,
why does he talk again?
So Vanessa's helping Barry sue the human race, and suddenly we're in court. Honorable Judge Bumbleton residing. Voiced by Oprah Winfrey.
Barry B. Benson versus the honey industry is now in session.
So everyone is waiting to hear a bee speak for the first time, and this is the reaction.
I'm kidding. Yes, Your Honor, we're ready to proceed.
And Mr. Montgomery.
Like, it's just so... Beekeeper. I find that to be a very disturbing term, I have to say. I don't imagine you employ any bee freers, do you? That's kind of just a conversation that you would find on Twitter in 2025. Now, one of Barry's witnesses is Sting. Again, what kid is going to be gagging over Sting? So this one's obviously for the parents. But at this point, there's too much for the parents. In my opinion, this movie needs like an Aunt Fanny-esque injection. Anyway, here's Ray Liotta as a witness.
This isn't a good fella. This is a bad fella.
Looks like the case is going swimmingly. Nay, buzzingly. Hold on. How do I wear these? Cause I be the Barry bee. Yeah, Neo, your ender is here. Ken has had enough of Barry seducing his girlfriend Vanessa, so he tries to kill him. And you know what? I kind of support him because Barry is trying to seduce Ken's girlfriend, and we found out that Ken has a bee allergy, so it's not that crazy that he tried to kill him in the first place. Plus, Barry's being smug as fuck. Like, I don't know, guys, Ken's crash out is kind of justified.
And he happens to be the nicest bee I've met in a long time.
Anyway, Vanessa dumps Ken. Back in the courtroom, the lawyer who looks like one of the humans from Wall-E asks the question that we've all been wanting an answer to.
What exactly is your relationship to that woman?
Barry says they're just friends, but then Wall-E guy implies that Barry is Vanessa's bed bug. Hashtag, is this a kid's movie? The lawyer then abandons that line of questioning and suggests that Barry is an illegitimate bee because the hive queen births all the bees in the hive, apparently. So that means his parents aren't really his parents, which raises a lot of questions. Ari, the blue eyes white dragon of it all.
And don't y'all nature cousins?
All this anti-bee speak enrages Adam, who stings the lawyer, which is exactly what the lawyer wants to prove to the jury that bees are savages.
They're striped savages!
Winged, striped, pissing me off, Ed. This isn't even the only character that says striped like that. It happens at the start of the movie, they're like, striped. What? Yada, yada, yada. When bees sting someone, they can kind of like, you know, die. So Adam is recovering in hospital. Trauma.
What was it like to sting someone?
All adrenaline and then ecstasy.
Oh. Right. Barry realizes that they can win the case by showing everyone on the jury that the honey companies are smoking out the bees.
This couldn't hurt a fly, little old bee.
He says that the bees are being forcibly addicted to these smoke machines in these man-made wooden slat work camps.
Living out our lives as honey slaves to the white man.
So the bees win the case.
Barry, who are you wearing?
My sweater's Ralph Lauren and I have no pants.
The honey farms are shut down, the honey's returned to the bees, sting is ended, and people who use honey in their tea are arrested. See, but now there's a honey surplus. It's just economics, supply and demand, babe. So the hives shut down honey production. And what do the bees do now? They chillax. It's species-wide unemployment. See, they're now going to test the distinction between being unemployed and being jobless. There is actually a lot of unemployment in this movie. These bees, Ken and his resumes at the start of the movie, it really makes you think. Is Jerry Seinfeld pushing unemployment propaganda? But then suing humanity feels like jobless behavior, not unemployed behavior. Guys, remember the distinction between being jobless and being unemployed. I think I first spoke about it in my Scooby-Doo 2 video. So yes, no one's making honey, no one's collecting nectar, no one's spreading pollen, which means all the flowers are dying. Vanessa's flowers is so over. The poor bees are feeling aimless without their jobs. Jerry Seinfeld gets in his metaphor bag and says, I don't understand why they're not happy. We have so much now. I thought their lives would be better. They're doing nothing. It's amazing. Honey really changes people. And see, that was a little bit Oscar Oscar for Best Writing. A little bit Pulitzer even. Vanessa shows Barry that all the flowers and trees and everything are wilting and dying. I don't know how he couldn't have seen that happening, but he's gagged.
It's not just flowers, fruits, vegetables. They all need bees.
Message. And it's true. Oh my God. Then we get something that is absolutely insane.
How about a suicide pact? I'll sting you, you step on me.
That just kills you twice.
Right.
Sorry, was that just a blatant suicide joke in a kid's movie? And yeah, it's a little bit funny, but it's like, how the fuck did that get approved? It's so insane to me. Anyway, Barry's like, oh my God, this is all happening because I opened my mouth and spoke. Which brings me to another thing, actually. You're telling me that in 27 million years, humans haven't discovered that bees can talk? Vanessa goes to some tournament of roses in Pasadena, the last one ever. Whatever. Barry's like, wait, why don't we use the pollen from these last ever roses and do nationwide pollination? So that's what they do. They steal the flowers and put them on a plane. But then the plane gets delayed, which is a problem because the flowers are fresh and they'll die. So Barry goes to talk to the pilots and accidentally knocks them both out. So Vanessa has to land the plane with the guidance of someone who has flight experience, Barry B. Benson. Right. At least that's some kids movie bullshit, you know? Also, they must have had like 2 models for Human Man because most of them look the same. For some reason, Barry and Vanessa are slapping each other.
You have got to snap out of it!
You snap out of it.
You snap out of it!
And the pollen jocks help them land the plane. The implication here is that bees can fly as fast as a passenger plane. Also, look at the spot the bees want Vanessa to land the plane at. No runway or anything, just land at the terminal. But they land the plane. Barry says the flowers they brought from Pasadena are the last flowers anywhere on Earth. That really escalated. At first it was like, oh, maybe it's just a New York problem. Then it was a nationwide problem. And then it's like, oh, it's a planetary problem. The bees managed to pollinate the flowers everywhere and save everything. Yay! It's also like, what is this movie about at this point? He didn't want to work his whole life, so he goes exploring. Then falls in love with a human and discovers that humans eat honey. So he sues humanity, but then it turns out honey production by a bee is extremely important. So they steal the last remaining flowers so that the bees can do their jobs again because small jobs are important. Is that the message? That everyone's important? That's lovely. So if anything, it's actually the opposite of unemployment propaganda. It's employment propaganda. So everything's back to normal. Except now everyone's aware that bees can speak. But that's not all, guys. Because Vanessa's Flowers is now Vanessa and Barry's Flowers Honey legal advice. And one of their clients is a cow, which Barry can speak to. Which means the cow also speaks and can speak to humans, which is an insane thing to drop in the literal last minute of the movie. All animals and insects can speak to humans. This Dr. Dolittle shit, bro. And this has been going on for millions of years, and humans haven't realized that animals can speak. This whole time there's been... Anyway, where did we land with Barry and Vanessa's relationship status? Do I want to know? Do I want to know? Basically, this movie headlined Bonkers Cella. And Piss Me Off Cella. I'm obviously doing important work here, so if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like and leave me a comment, of course. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out that link in the description. Wow. What's next in the International Implications series? I've got one really important question for you all. You like jazz?